All right, guys, today we're diving into why my 2008 Toyota Tacoma with the electronic locking rear differential will not engage. We're gonna hop under the truck and we're gonna find out, because right now we've got the rear locker engaged, and as you can see, that tire is not spinning. We got the Tacoma backed into the shop. We're gonna go ahead and get the back end jacked up. We're gonna start assessing what's going on. Get the actuator pulled off, get the motor pulled off, see if the motor is spinning back and forth, see if the actuator is moving back and forth, and if everything's moving, then maybe the axle's got something bound up in there, or maybe just something has built up and isn't allowing the motor to spin the actuator. We're under the truck, and the first thing I want to do is I want to give all of this wiring a really good inspection. I want to go through, there's plugs up here, there's plugs down here on the actuator. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at all of that and make sure it's looking okay before I dive into the actuator itself. Alright, so unfortunately I didn't find any issues with the wiring. I checked all of the ends, I checked the connectors, I made sure there was no corrosion, I made sure none of the insulation was broken, anything like that. So that leads me to my next step: take the actuator off of the differential itself. I'm going to see if I can manually lock it, and if so, then there's something going on with the actuator and it's not spinning. We got the actuator here, and unfortunately with the gas tank in, it is pretty tight. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this cover off, and that's going to give me access to the electric motor, which is up top. This is the actuator that's geared down itself. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull off the actuator itself, which is just a few more 12 millimeters. And I'm going to see, just make sure that mechanically this axle does indeed lock. Oh, and everything is locked together. I'm gonna unlock it and I'm gonna figure out why this actuator over here doesn't want to spin. Got the actuator out, I've got it out on my workbench. I'm gonna go ahead and first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this little electric motor off, and I'm gonna see if it spins freely. I believe I needed to start by pulling this face cover off, because it does not feel like that motor is going to separate. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this housing off. Pull this C-clip, because this gear is going to have to come off. Well, I hope this motor's okay, because definitely I think the issue was this crusty, rusty. I'm going to get everything cleaned off, and I'm going to get some new grease for in here. First thing first, I'm going to just absolutely soak this thing in WD-40. We're going to go ahead and see if possibly we can get these motors freed up, because that would be nice. I would like to not have to replace this. Alright, after lots and lots of fighting, I finally got the motor and windings out of the casing. Unfortunately, all 4 of the magnets came out too, so it looks like I'm going to be going to my parts car and pulling an actuator off of a different vehicle. It's the next day. I went ahead and I got this actuator pulled from my spare vehicle. It was a 1999 Toyota 4Runner with 3/4 and automatic transmission, but the actuators that lock the differentials are the same. They're the same from 98 to 2015, all Tacoma, 4Runner, newer Tacoma, FJ Cruiser, pretty sure everything but the Land Cruiser platform used these electronic locking actuators for the electronic locking differentials. In with the new. All right, and just like that, we've got the new actuator in, got the electronics hooked up, we got the breather hose hooked up. Time to go test it out. I tried real hard last time. Differential never locked up. Now, we're in 2-wheel drive right now. We'll throw it in 4. We'll throw it in 4 low. RR diff lock. You can see here, ABS is turned off and the RR diff lock is looking like it's trying to engage. Still trying. Oh no. I know this actuator is good. I tested it in that 4Runner. I think it's locking, it's just not registering that it's locking. I'm about to go find out. All right, as you can see, right now it is saying it is not locked. It's saying it is trying to lock, but it is not locked. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna jack up the rear end and I'm gonna see if the tires are locked together. All right, I'd say the locker is working. I thought it sounded like it was working when I was turning, but it was really hard to tell. There we go. Diagnostics took pulling the old motor apart, but fixing it, it was really easy once I got a new actuator. Just like 5 bolts off and on. This is super easy. That was super fun. Not too hard to do at all. Now I can go take this thing to the mountains, see how this rear locker works, and see what this thing is capable of getting into.